One night she told me I wasn't enough. After 6 years together, 6 years of dreams, sacrifices, and promises, Emma sat across from me in a quiet coffee shop and looked at me like I was a stranger. And what she said next shattered everything I thought I knew. "I love you, Daniel, but love isn't enough anymore." Those words hit harder than any insult ever could. I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh and tell me she was joking. She didn't. "I don't understand," I whispered. She sighed. "You're 32, Daniel. You're still struggling. You still drive that old Honda. You still rent a tiny apartment. I want more out of life." I felt my chest tighten. We were building that life together. She looked away. "No, you were building it. I was waiting." Then she dropped the real bomb. "There is someone else." I froze. "Someone else?" Her eyes softened, but there wasn't an ounce of guilt in them. "His name is Rick." The world suddenly became very quiet. "How long?" I asked. "A few months." A few months, while I was working overtime, skipping vacations to save money, sacrificing everything for our future, and she was already planning a future with someone else. "Who is he?" I managed to ask. She hesitated. "He owns several businesses." I laughed. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So that's it?" She remained silent. "You're leaving me for a rich guy." "It's not about money." I looked directly into her eyes. "Then why mention his businesses?" She had no answer. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. The woman I loved had already left me long before this conversation. She stood up. "I'm sorry." I sat there while she walked away. And just like that, 6 years disappeared. The next few weeks were hell. I stopped answering calls, stopped seeing friends, stopped caring about anything. Everywhere I looked, there was a memory of Emma. The couch we bought together, the photos on my phone, the stupid coffee mug she insisted on using every morning. Everything hurt. But the worst part wasn't losing her. It was losing my best friend. Or at least the person I thought was my best friend, Mark. We'd been friends since college. He was the guy who stood beside me through everything. Or so I thought. One evening, he came over carrying pizza and beer. "Man, you're disappearing," he said. "I've just been tired." Tired or depressed? I forced a smile. "What's the difference?" He sat beside me. "You need to move on." Easy for him to say. He wasn't the one whose life had fallen apart. Still, Mark kept showing up, helping me, listening, being the friend I needed. At least that's what I believed. 3 months later, I was scrolling through social media when my heart nearly stopped. Emma had posted pictures, luxury resorts, designer handbags, private jets. And there he was, Rick Parker, tall, expensive suit, perfect smile. Comments flooded the photos. Couple goals. Living the dream. So happy for you. I shut my phone off, but not before seeing something that made my blood run cold. Mark had liked every picture, every single one. One night, I finally confronted him. "You knew?" Mark looked confused. "Knew what?" "About Emma and Rick?" His expression changed, and that was all I needed. "How long?" He rubbed his forehead. "How long?" He looked guilty. "About 8 months." 8 months. Emma had cheated, and my best friend had known. "You watched me plan a future with her." He stayed silent. "You watched me buy a ring." Silence. "You watched me destroy myself after the breakup." His voice cracked. "I didn't know how to tell you." "No." I stood up. "You just didn't want to." And just like that, I lost 2 people. Life became lonely. But then something strange happened. Without Emma, without Mark, without the constant drama, I started breathing again. I joined a gym, focused on work, started learning new skills. And little by little, I stopped surviving and started living. A year later, the small consulting business I'd started as a side project exploded. Companies began hiring me. My income tripled, then quadrupled. For the first time in my life, I wasn't struggling anymore. I bought a house, traveled, built the life I'd once dreamed of. But unlike before, I wasn't building it for someone else. I was building it for myself. And that's when fate decided to play one final joke. I was attending a charity event when I heard a familiar voice. "Daniel?" I turned and nearly dropped my drink. Emma. But this wasn't the Emma from Instagram. Gone were the expensive dresses, the confidence, the sparkle in her eyes. She looked exhausted, older, broken, and standing beside her was nobody. No Rick, no glamorous lifestyle, nothing. "Hi," she said softly. I nodded politely. "Emma." She swallowed hard. "You look amazing." "Thanks." There was an awkward silence. Then she asked the question I never expected. "Can we talk?" Part of me wanted to walk away, but curiosity won. We sat down, and within minutes, the truth came out. Rick had lost everything. His businesses collapsed, lawsuits followed, debt piled up, and the moment things became difficult, he changed. According to Emma, the charming millionaire she'd fallen in love with disappeared. He became angry, controlling, cold, and eventually, he left her for someone younger. The irony almost made me laugh. She wiped away tears. "I thought he loved me." I looked at her quietly. "I thought you loved me." Her eyes filled with regret. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Maybe she had, but hearing those words didn't bring satisfaction. It didn't heal the pain. It just confirmed what I had already learned. Some people don't realize what they have until they lose it. Then she whispered something I never expected. "Do you think we could start over?" I stared at her. The old version of me would have said yes, without hesitation. But that man no longer existed, because heartbreak had changed me, not into someone bitter, but into someone wiser. I smiled gently. "Oh, no." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I deserve that." "No." I shook my head. "This isn't punishment." She looked confused. "I just don't belong in your future anymore." Those words broke her, because for the first time, she understood exactly how I had felt. And strangely, I didn't feel revenge. I felt peace, real peace, the kind that comes when you stop chasing closure, because closure doesn't come from seeing someone suffer. It comes from realizing you no longer need them. I stood up. "It was good seeing you, Emma." "Daniel?" "Yeah?" "I'm sorry." I smiled, and for the first time in years, I truly meant it when I said, "I know." Then I walked away. Some chapters aren't meant to be rewritten. They're meant to be finished. And sometimes, the best revenge isn't making someone regret losing you. It's becoming someone who no longer regrets losing them. And that changed everything.